Good afternoon, everybody. You are here tuned into the Myxxxx, myxxxxx.com. I am here with my panel, Atia Murray and
Hello.
Pamela Robinson.
Hello.
Today we're going to be talking about funding foundations of Pamela Robinson, and I'm going to turn you over to her for a minute.
Hello, everybody. My name is Pamela Robinson, and I have a lot of people that know me. I have a foundation named after my mother, which is called Ada Bell and Arthur Wilson Foundation, where I go to stores and they give me toys for the kids, and we fill up 4 hospitals. My goal is to do 8 hospitals. And I do other stuff as well. I get the homeless off the street, and I speak up for kids' rights, and I also do a lot of feed the homeless and stuff like that, and I do a lot of things. So right now I'm asking the people out there to donate. There's Thanksgiving that's coming, and people are hungry. You got kids that are hungry that need, and we want to have like turkeys or something. If you can donate turkeys or the odds and ends or whatever. And right after that, Christmas is coming up. So I'm asking everybody to call our numbers. The number should be at the bottom of the screen. If not, you can call me on my cell phone number. My cell phone number is 516-359-3953. And all of my friends that give to me, I hope you're listening so you can contribute on that as well.
Okay, and the other number is 1-844-THE-MYXXX, 1-844-THE-MYXXX. This year, we're going to be doing a turkey dinner on a Thursday. All of us is not going to participate, but I'm hoping that, we can get it together and feed the children and the people that are homeless. Okay, today, I also am celebrating the cancer awareness and LGBTQ awareness, because there's so much going on with people of today that have cancer, women, men, and in general. Atia, do you know anybody that has cancer, or can you speak on it?
Yes, I can speak to it. That's a subject that's really close to me. I don't like to claim it, but it has claimed the lives of some of my family members. So I don't want to say that it runs in my family or anything like that, but if I'm honest, there are some people who have been affected.
You're saying that there's not a gene in your family?
No, I'm just saying
Hopefully.
some people do have it, so
Okay.
I just don't want to say that and give it power.
Okay.
But if a doctor would tell me that, I would have to be careful, and that's one of the things I know, that even as a young woman, I have to get exams frequently.
Okay.
Things that we may not have, especially if people in your family have died from it. Even though you may be a certain age, even 25 and these type of ages that we don't feel like we can be unhealthy, we just want to do screening. It's really important.
Okay.
And it's scary, but it's important.
Well, this cancer has grown tremendously throughout our black communities, especially. For me, my family was very blessed. There was nobody that died from cancer. I mean, unfortunately, I had people that died from diabetes, which is another monster in our community.
Wow.
And what about you, Pamela?
I have diabetes.
Okay, what about cancer? Do you know anybody that has?
Yes, I have friends that
Okay.
have diabetes and high blood pressure and high cholesterol
Okay.
and sleep apnea.
Okay. So now, as far as the foundation of Pamela, she's been doing this since she was 16 years old. She has a lot of feedback from people of different stores and different places that she gets donation from. And I think that if we push hard enough, then you guys will understand that we're not here to accept monies for ourselves. We're here to accept things for people that are in need. And the people that are in need are the people that are out there sleeping on the streets.
Yeah.
They're sleeping in train stations, parks, bus stations. I mean, unfortunately, some people say they chose that. Some people, don't understand that some people are mental and they're homeless. Some people are just, giving up and they're homeless. So how do we turn that around, and how can we fix that? So as far as the Myxxxx is concerned, these are the things that we talk about. We talk about issues in real life. that happens to everyday people. And what we're trying to do is to understand it so we can try to not fix it, because there's nothing to be fixed. It has to be changed. And to change it is to also just orchestrate and organize things that we have to do to change our society.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I heard that one of the most needed articles is socks for homeless people. One of the things that socks and shoes.
Socks and shoes, they need that, and they also need coats.
Right.
Even these are things that we
gloves, and
have
scarves.
so much of, and we don't realize that they can be, instead of being under our beds, they can benefit someone else.
Yeah, sometimes we have those things in the back of our closet that we
Right.
don't even use, and
Right.
it could go to somebody.
Okay.
Shoes, the coats, if you have clothes that give to the kids or whatever. Because I deal with churches,
Yeah.
I deal with homes, different types of homes and outlets. I deal with a lot of people that have the needs. And I also deal with domestic violence people too. Those people need clothes and shoes too for their kids
Yes,
as well.
of course. There are a lot of organizations that are out, churches that are out, that they try to feed the homeless, they try to feed people that are in need. There are a lot of shelters and a lot of soup kitchens, and even for ourselves, like now, we have just started, so what we need to do is understand how to bring it to a forehead so it can be something that'll be great for those people, and bring them out of their shelter and bring them into the community as a citizen. Because now people are thinking that the shelters are not great in their communities. So you have a lot of different communities that are just nothing, They think that homeless people are nothing. I'm sorry.
Well, Ali, you have some shelters that are for people that they are abusive, and that's why the people don't want to go in the shelter.
Really?
People
That's
that I
correct.
talk to,
Yeah.
either they're gonna get raped in the shelter or they get robbed or whatever.
Right. Those
These are the
bad-
people
bad-
that I
yeah.
talk to and I
Yeah.
deal with. And you also find that Uncle Sam should also do more. We have
Okay.
we have vets that have been fighting our country, and I do with the vets that are in there. They're also homeless.
Of course
And
they
they're
are.
homeless
Yeah,
because
of course. Yeah.
they go and fight for our country. You mean to tell me you can't give them better equipment, better stuff? And you see it on TV where they're asking people like ourselves to give them $19 a month.
I have a question, Pam.
Yeah.
For someone who would say the government feeds everybody, there should be no homeless people, not homeless people, hungry people, the pantries and everyone helps out. Are there still hungry people even though there are so many outlets?
Of course they
Yes,
are.
it is, because you know what? I'm not trying to say, but we have some pantries and some churches they give to. Now, I know some people in the church might need or whatever, but you got some people, they take the money for themselves. And
the
they
food.
take the
And
food as
food
well,
themselves,
instead of
right.
giving it to the people that's out in the street.
Well, what they
So-
do is they tell their friends to come
Right.
and get
Yes.
the food. So
And come and
what
get the
happens
food.
is the people that really are in need get the leftovers, which is
Nothing.
stuff that they have probably put in a pantry.
I understand.
And then the food that they want to give out, the good food, they give it
They-
to their friends.
Or they keep it for
No.
themselves. And
Yeah.
not only that, some pantries, they're not checking the dates, they're giving you spoiled stuff.
Somebody was telling
As
me
well.
that too.
And that
Yeah.
is very bad, yes.
Yeah.
And we're going around, my thing is, we're going around and we're billing, like you look on Sunrise Highway. There was a monument building that was there. If Freeport spoke up, the monument building was supposed to stay. It should have never got torn down. We have so many car places to buy cars up and down Sunrise Highway. We need them to start buying really not really a shelter, but a place that the government is going to pay for, like welfare or whatever. Let these people stay for 2 years and get on their feet like that. They
sounds
have to
great.
have an address, one of those type of place, because they're scared to go in the shelter. Their babies get threatened or whatever. They're getting raped or molested. So these people would rather stay out in the street than to go there.
Right.
I deal with these people every day.
See, but the thing about certain parts of, like you said, Freeport Monument, that the reason why it's torn down is because they are actually building, or their
Of course
minds
they're doing.
and the future is to build condos and condominiums.
To get
so they're
more
trying
money.
to not to get more money, to eliminate the poverty of homelessness.
That's not gonna
they're
help
not going to eliminate. They want to move them out of Freeport. So Freeport is going to be in corporate village. It's already an incorporated village. So
Sounds
now
like
they're
money
gonna
to
make
me.
it an incorporated. It's gonna be like a garden city. So if you look at Sunrise Highway, and as they're changing businesses, their businesses is getting bigger, not
Yeah.
smaller. There's no mom
Yeah,
and
you
pop
have to,
stores
yeah.
on Sunrise Highway. There's no mom and pop stores.
You might find one or two. There is one that's sitting
Well,
on the corner that's still there, and another
Yeah,
one, a
pretty
couple
much,
of them.
yeah. 'Cause
But
even in the village part, as far as going into the shopping area, like with the check cashing place, I think that's Main Street. So now if you're going in, that was a Hispanic community of businesses. Now they're closing them down.
they're closing down because now the COVID tax came and they don't really have money. Some of those stores funded me on a lot of stuff. I have a lot of
Yeah,
stores.
yeah.
The whole Freeport funds me with giving me stuff. I have all the way out to Nassau. I have the whole Nassau County. I have Suffolk. I have a whole bunch of people that
A
do
network.
give me a whole
Yeah.
network.
That
of
sounds
people
really
from
good.
the
But
town.
see, their project plan for Freeport is co-ops. They're doing it in Baldwin. Their project plan for maybe 10
Their
years from now
project plan is to
gonna be
build a
co-ops.
lot of cars. They only build, if you
You
look,
mean like buildings for
they're,
cars?
they're building the
Yeah.
cars to buy, so you
Yeah.
can buy dealerships. They're not putting
But
anything there.
technically, if you go into your Freeport town hall, you're gonna know that they're building.
Yes,
for
they're building, but
not businesses. They're building businesses, but their monies that's gonna go in, it's gonna go into not afford. It's gonna be a little bit affordable houses, but they have to give at least 10 to 20 affordable housing. But other than that, it's gonna be.
And it's also gonna raise up the Freeport
but the
and Baldwin
problem,
prices.
the problem is if you see, you see what BJ's is, and if you look right across from that, there was a project that was right there. So they bought everybody out and they built that for them to go in there. They're doing the same thing in Uniondale. They're building it right there. That's the way it goes. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're trying to help them.
Okay.
What happened to the homeless people?
Okay. So, again, well, we don't have our correct panel today because we are missing two, Javon Egypt, Malaysia, and Carol A. Gordon. So we won't have an entertainment tonight, but we will have it next week. And Carol A. Gordon is out shop, as usual. She's doing her business as far as her running for the Senate.
Yes.
And I hope that you guys that are listening will go and write her in on the
Yeah.
ballot, Carol A. Gordon. All right, Javon, Carol, we wish you was here because we need the whole panel as a team. But
Can I say something
go ahead.
also? I want anyone to call me if they're looking for apartments because I have quite a few
Okay.
in Uniondale. I have some out in Suffolk.
Okay.
I have some places in Brooklyn and in Queens.
Okay, and your name?
My name is Atia
Atia.
Murray, and my telephone number is 917
Go ahead.
310 5228. Again, that's 917 310 5228. Call me at a reasonable time, but you can call me anytime.
But anyway, a reasonable time could be any time.
Hey, I'll call you back.
Somebody's in there for an apartment, they be like, what the heck?
And houses, don't get me, and
which is good.
investments.
One of the things I like as far as with our people, we are all doing something
That's
to
so
kind
nice.
of create something that's going to be beneficial to
Change.
self and others. Okay, tonight we are here with different aspects of life, different situations, different meanings. The LGBT community, okay, which I'm a part of, we are celebrating. The purple is to let people understand that there should be no cruelty in life, period. There should be only peace and harmony in life. So therefore, the purple stands. If you look behind me, there's pink for the cancer awareness and there's purple for the LGBT community.
Yeah.
To let people understand that we are here on this earth together, not as separate, but as one. We all breathe the same blood and we all breathe the same air. So therefore, we need to understand that. Okay, I'm going to get back to you as far as the helping that you do in the hospitals. I noticed you had mentioned something about going to businesses and you set up live Facebook.
Yes.
And so how did you explain that to me?
Okay. I get in touch with my friends starting in November. I'll call them on the phone.
This is
and-
you get in touch with businesses.
Yeah, businesses.
My
they're
friends.
But they are my friends.
Yeah,
but
that's nice.
everybody they're my friends.
Mhm.
Cool.
Well, anyway, and that's what I call them.
Okay.
So I get in touch with them, and I let them know when I'm coming to pick up the toys or
Okay.
whatever. And if they get ready, I get a truck or whatever. My two sons are my elves, and he drives and
So
we
you're Miss
pick 'em
Santa
up.
Claus.
Yeah, they call me Mrs. Claus.
Okay,
They
that's
call
cute.
me Mrs.
That's
Claus,
cute.
but the other stuff that I do on the street, they call me the Bulldog.
Okay.
Okay.
They call me the Bulldog because I don't lay down to people, I go after people.
Good.
Right.
And I fight for everybody. I go, for the elderly people, if their houses are tore up or anything and the landlord doesn't want to fix it, I go after them.
So you're somebody that people can call about
Yes.
community
Like
Yeah.
issues?
I do a lot of
for
stuff.
homeless and hospitals.
That's
Yeah.
that's
So,
incredible.
and then the other thing that we do is, even you, like yourself, say, God forbid, you have somebody that you lost and you want to put the toys, they have to be brand new toys, you want to put them in that person's name.
Okay.
So I have a list, I go on air
Oh.
and I name all of that. If it's a company or you just want to put it in your child's name that's alive or yourself or your husband, you just want to give some toys. I have people like that as well.
So we're happy to have you on the mix, number one, and so to Tia also, I'm sorry
Thank you very
for
much.
stuttering. But we're happy to have you on the mix, number one, because we're willing to stand behind you and also follow your lead because of the things that you do for people, the things that you have accomplished, that you have done for people as far as the homeless. And some people they're not going to let people in their house, which you have done, I've heard.
Yes.
Some people are not going to go up on homeless people because sometimes they might have a fear that they might be,
They
nasty
can be,
towards them.
but they can be violent, and
can,
you don't know.
and-
But
yeah.
it's a
But I
risk
have-
that you're willing to take.
Yes,
Right.
but I have made so many friends in the community that are homeless. The first thing I noticed, and I have to joke with y'all about that, say if you lent your friend some money or somebody else some money, they'd be like, oh, I'll give it to you tomorrow. When I give them something, the first thing they say, don't give it to me now, Sister Pam, because God's going to get me. I'm going to buy me some drugs today, so don't give it to me.
Yeah.
So,
Those are the things you can't look at.
and then when I do give it to them or whatever, they be like, they want to give it back to me. The next day they got some money. I said, no, you might see me get on a bus or something like that. Pay for me to get on a
You
bus
never
or
know.
something like that, because you never know. And that's what I told them,
My cousin was saying that my sister said in Europe they the people who have the signs, they have like sections where you can either give to their food or their drug or their entertainment. And like we get a bottle of something and I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes
happens.
it's just,
I mean,
sometimes they
you
just
know,
wanna
Like when you're driving,
You know?
and you
A
stop
drink?
at certain places, like far as food places that you want to eat, drive-throughs and stuff like that, you always see it happens where when people come to your car and
Right.
they're big, and then the first thing you go, you want to say yes, but you say no. You understand what I'm saying?
because you say what if they waste your
Because
resources.
they're right, because you think they're on drugs, so they're gonna go
Yeah.
get drugs.
But
And I used to think the same way, but then after a couple of, maybe before the COVID, during the COVID, and I started thinking differently because of the fact that, people are out there and they are in need. And if they go get drugs, God gave you the money to
You
do, and if He
bless
puts it in
them.
if He puts it in your heart, then you have to do what
And thank you for the honesty because it takes a lot for us to say
Yeah.
I was judgmental or I
was,
have bad thoughts,
yeah,
you
of
know?
course, yeah.
well, I always didn't have that thought. What came in my heart was from God, and it said, give it to them, you know what I'm saying? Long as you know your heart is right,
Right.
you give it to them.
That's correct.
If they take it and do something else, God's gonna get them. He's not gonna get you because your heart was right and you gave it at the time when you thought it was
And I
right.
think that God makes our wrong right, and that's for
And I
everyone.
remember
That's
owning
right.
my-
That's the only way we
Yeah.
keep standing.
When I remember when I owned my salon, it was when I owned my salon, it was a thing wherein I brought people that came to me. They was just coming to me asking for jobs, and not that that I was like stuck up or whatever, but I gave them jobs. And I just made them come in and open up certain things for them.
Right, right.
And I think it was more of a mental than anything else because they was a part of something. And
You see?
even though sometimes I probably was a little awkward off set up a station so they can feel better about
Yeah,
themselves.
and that does more for someone than anything.
Well, I want to share this story with you. What happened to me one time, there was this lady. She used to be a nurse, but she got laid off. She told me that she didn't have, now my house had nothing. I had my 2 kids. She said that they didn't have no toys. The kids didn't have no toy, no Christmas tree. There's a whole bunch of family members. They needed turkey, everything. So me and my friend, I got collected all the stuff from the store. We couldn't even see out of the truck. We had this big truck. So when we pulled up, we know that, you know, she had a good job. So she had BMs and Porsches in her yard. So when we went inside the house, there's a tree there already. And the toys are all out the floor. And they got 5 or 6 turkeys in the bag. They got everything. She lied.
Right.
So then my friend says, well, Pam, what are we going to do now? I said, well, what can we do? Is no one to give it to. We let her have it. I went home and I said to God, I said, God, I'm not doing this no more. And he said, yes, you are. He said, because there's going to be somebody out there that's going to need you. So what happened is, BLS became my best friends. I was on the station with BLS. I made them be my friends after this happened. And it was a question about Nelson Mandela. I answered the question, and because I said yes to God, I won the $1,000, a PlayStation 2, and some games for my kids. I paid my bills, and I bought them toys, and we had food.
Okay.
Well, I could remember back when we were growing up, and my dad, he was an alcoholic, so we, as people thought, you know, we was kids, so, you know, the Christmas tree went up, but the next day there was no toys. So, you know, my mom's, you know, was, you know, saying, okay, don't worry about it, something's going to happen. And then all of a sudden, we get a knock on the door, and it's my godfather with a bunch of toys. My dad is sitting in the car, you know, he's still embarrassed about the fact that he took the money, he drunk the money up.
Yeah.
But my godfather, and he was a Caucasian man, you know, because my father worked with, you know, his engineer. And it was so funny because of the fact that the things that we wanted, he had in the bag.
Right.
And it was like, wow. So my father was actually talking to him
about what y'all like.
What we like.
I feel like God does that type of stuff where your mom may not be strong, but your auntie is your ride or die. Like you may hate your job, but when you come home, that shit is nice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But if we look for it, because you could have been, or if we in life, it's just quick. If we focus on those things that are not good, we will see them and we'll find them. And everything, if we focus on the good, we'll find it as well.
Exactly. So this is the end of our timing. We're gonna go from the mix to Robin's house. But I would like for you guys to stay tuned with us because Pamela is going to be making moves, trying to get some donations. I'm going to be behind her.
Donate. I will as well.
Atia's going to be behind her. Atia mentioned something about her real estate. But she doesn't only do real estate, she does My Sweet Smells.
Oh yeah, smells like gifts.
Smells like
have
gifts.
the best body oils and
So we'll be right back after these messages.
Thank you.
Okay?
The Africa Vision Card, a reloadable debit card that controls up to 5 different currencies in one account. Our belief in the promise of a new Africa inspired our innovation to launch Africa's first free smart card. Our customers can now make 24 hours global cash withdrawals and transact businesses with ease. With pride in our 24 hours live customer service, headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia, corporate branch in Lagos, Nigeria, and unique reward programs, we are well positioned to pioneer Africa to the world of artificial intelligence and walk you through to the new Africa. Africa Vision's Card, the king of cards.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Robin's house. We've just left the mix, and now me and my girl Mika, we're going to give you a little bit of tea and entertainment. So, have you watched the Have and the Have-Nots this week, girl?
Girl, my life has been a little bit too busy, you know, traveling out here in this quarantine. Wait, real quick question. Am I the only one who be smiling under these masks?
No, I be smiling too, girl. I don't know if they could tell.
I just be a smile waving. Hey!
Me too.
I'm like, maybe they could tell.
From our eyes, we got smile eyes, you know. So
Tyra Banks used to talk about that.
That's right. We get it in with the
Smile with your
eyes.
eyes.
Yes, smile with your eyes.
But girl, so TV, please tell me what is going on with the Have and Have-Nots because I need to see it this week.
Well, we know Candace got away with that money. She took Jim's money, $8 million. She said she ain't giving it back. She gave Benny $1 million so he can get his truck business up and running and whatnot. And the bad thing about it is she got the mob behind her. You know, she's like a mob princess. You know,
But,
so
quick question: what would you do if you got $8
you
million?
keep the money and go like she's going.
it.
Leave everything. Just take my little Louis Vuitton bag or my little Coach bag and go. You know, next flight out.
I'd be in Mexico so fast. Call me Guadalupe.
One of those on no expedition states, so they can't bring me back for whatever crime.
like Cuba.
Exactly. You know, I'll make do. You know.
I'm out of here though.
And with that, Miss Veronica, she has a new assistant, a black girl. She's dressing her up and letting her drive a car. But the assistant's husband, fine. He's fine. Veronica's after him. You know, she like young men.
You know Veronica
And
a little thought.
he's buffed and all of that, you know.
You know Veronica a little thought.
Well, yeah, she's definitely a thought. She's a high-powered thought. So she can do all that.
Definitely
She can be
a
that.
high-powered
You
thought.
know, because she get what she want and then she toss them, you know.
You know the last thing I remember that was going on with Veronica? Who was it? I think it was David.
Her husband.
Yes, that slapped the taste out of her mouth.
She
Slapped her back in the last week.
Yes. Yes, she still be fantasizing about that, but she's still warning girl. So on that note, I don't know about that little slappy slap, but
you know what it is? That's a real domestically violent relationship, and this month is Domestic Violence Month.
yes, it is.
And we got to talk about that because that's something that a lot of people go through. They go through these relationships where their significant other is verbally, physically, or mentally abusing them, and
It's unfortunate.
it's not right.
It's unfortunate because the excuse is, I love him. And yes, it's okay to love, but you got to love yourself first. And know when to walk away. And a lot of times it's hard for them to walk away. They have nowhere to go. They don't know where to go, or, you know, they have no support, you know, as far as who they can run to or turn to. So it's a really messed up situation, you know.
And it's like history keeps repeating itself. We can go as far back as Ike and Tina. You know, he was beating her right before she got on stage.
Eat the cake.
Yes, eat the cake, anime.
Yes,
eat the damn cake. What was that, lemon cake? It was moist. It fell all over her face and everything. But it didn't look delicious.
No, I'm sure it didn't feel like it neither. Girl.
That cake probably tasted like some humble pie. But, you know, so I can see, or we can go as recent as what's been in the news lately with the rapper. He got that song, "We was born on the wedding." She in the wedding. Day. I don't really know all the words, but it's a fire beat.
Yeah.
What's his name? 5-year-old foreign?
Yeah.
Allegedly, he was arrested for beating up his pregnant baby mother.
Wow. You know what? That's really crazy. I can't even comprehend that.
Yeah.
Like, why? You know, walk away. Walk away. You don't want to be bothered. You know, just go or whatever. And as they say, I'll take care of my child. So, you know, do what you have to do as far as a father. Take care of your kid. You know, you don't want to have a relationship with the mom. Unfortunately, that's, you know, what's going on in this world with a lot of men and young women or whatever. You know, they have babies and there's no unity. You know, it's like, I'm just your baby mama, you just my baby daddy. And
Who that baby daddy?
exactly, you know. That's how it is, you know.
Yeah, it's really sad. You have a large amount of people that are in these relationships that they really don't want to be in.
Yeah.
Like you said, women stay because they want their child to see a family
or have a daddy or whatever. So,
but you know what I feel? I feel it's healthier for the child to see the mother happy.
That's right, as opposed to being in an argumentative, you know, relationship every day, or, you know, domestically being abused and all that, mentally or physically, because it wears on the child. And like they say, you think kids don't know, or they know. They know.
They see it.
They're aware.
Look at Chris Brown. Chris Brown said he beat up Rihanna because he watched his father beat his mother, allegedly.
Right,
so that's what he said.
That's what he knows, or he thought that's what the right thing to do. And it's not, you know.
Yeah, some people at young ages, they're taught that love is only physical.
Right.
Whether it be abuse or sexual or so many other things. They're
That's
taught that is how love looks.
And it's not. Exactly. It's not.
It's not. It really isn't. And, you know, but sadly, they keep going back. They just keep going back.
Yeah,
and
the
it's
cycle
sad.
has to be broken somewhere along the line, you know, and I don't know. Fortunately, I raised a good son.
Ooh.
I have a good man. He's a good young man, and I've never known of him doing anything of sorts, and I'm sure he hasn't, and there's no reason to, because his father wasn't like that. You know, I'm more rah-rah than his father, but you know, I wasn't physically abusive with him too, because when he was younger, there was a time I had a broken ankle and I had a cast, and he must have known, and he did everything in his power to get me to, you know, try to whoop his little butt, and I went after him. I tried to get him, you know, and I couldn't. He ran, and you know what? My dad pulled me aside, and he's like, really? I think at that time I was about 25, and he's like, you're a 25-year-old woman, and you can't get a 3-year-old child to do what you need him to do without physically, you know, beating him. And, you know, I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? He's right. I'm the adult here. How am I letting him get the best of me mentally that my first reaction is to whoop him or, you know, kick his ass or whatever. And from that day on, I said to myself, I would never hit him again, because I should be able to get him to do what I want without hitting him. You know, I'm the adult. I'm, you know, smarter than him. And it worked. My dad did it to me. It worked. He used to play mind games with me all the time and make you think. So, like I said, with that, you know, being said, I don't abuse him. And fortunately, you know, our report, he turned out to be a very good, well-produced young man, you know.
Well, aren't you Black Mother of the Year?
Well,
Because
no.
my mama whooped ass.
My mom did too. Are you kidding me? But see, the difference is my mom, she whooped our ass. My dad was the type, he didn't have to. He would just sit back, or he would say what he would say, and he was intimidated enough that we straightened up. We didn't have, you know, he didn't whoop us because he didn't have to. But my mom, she didn't play that. Are you kidding?
Nah, my mom, she was hardcore Christian. She believed in, as the Bible said, if ye spare the rod, you will spoil the child. She would say that to me right before she whooped me. Like, you know what? Because in the Bible, they told her. And it would just be like, so you going to use the Bible to beat me tonight, Mom? That's what it is. She wasn't abusive, though. She was just strict. She didn't play that.
It wasn't nothing wrong with that.
Y'all see me. I'm 33 years old, still wearing turtlenecks because I'm scared to show cleavage outside. Because my mama might bust through this door right now.
And that's funny. Because I remember I was at an age, I think maybe 16 or whatever, and I was like buttoned up, and my mom was like, girl, unbutton yourself a little bit. You know, you got to be a little sexy, you know. But that's different generations, because my mom also had me young. Yes. You know, she was 15 when she had me. Yeah. And I was fortunate enough that my dad was, 19? And they married. He married her. You see what I'm saying? And they stayed together for 40 years when my dad passed first and then my mom. So, you know, I was lucky, you know. See,
I had my dad in my life. My dad was the savior. Like my mom, I said she was very strict. My dad was the sweetest man, and
yeah, he was probably more laid back. Like
you know, so it was a change. You know, growing up, it was a change because
it was a different era then. You know?
And you know, I ended up in an abusive relationship.
Wow.
And I wrote a piece about it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, on that note, guys, let's hear our poetess, Miss Myxxxx J. Woods, do her thing, because she always brings us.
I am ready. This piece is called "He Slapped Me."
Wow.
Okay. Last night, he slapped me. I mean, he took his whole hand, drew it back slow, then sped up as he came toward me to increase centrifugal force, spread his fingers to ensure accuracy, and wham! A slap across my face. And this hurts, and it's unlike music, because when he hit me, I felt the pain. And this wasn't the first time, nor was it the second, nor was this the third. This had been too many times that I had lost count. And I had gotten used to the pattern. I knew that next came the gifts and the flowers and the I love yous, and this almost never happens. But then you blame me, because this is what I do to you. And I apologize. I apologize to you for your insecurities once again. I apologize to you for feeling less than a man. I apologize to you for your feelings of inadequacy. I apologize to you for you. But I say this only in my head, as it hurts, because my ears are ringing. Since last night, he slapped me again. Wow. Myxxxx J. Woods.
Wow, guys. That was very powerful, Miss Woods.
Thank you. I had to talk about domestic violence. It's very important, especially because, in quarantine, people have been in the house with their significant other for 6-7 months.
That's right. And the worst of the beast will come out in you. Exactly.
Even if you love that person so much before, after 6 or 7 months, I might not even really like you.
Well, like they say, you never know a person until you live with them. So when quarantine, I'm sure there were a lot of relationships that maybe stood the test of time. And then there was probably some that didn't, But on that note, thank you guys for being with us tonight here on the Mix at Robin's house. And without further ado, we'll be back. And welcome back to Robin's house. Girl, that was a powerful poem. You put it down.
Thank you. Thank you.
And on that note, we have 2 more guests that our panel that would like to join us. Miss Tia, you want to come on up in here? And Miss Pamela, you want to come and join us so we can all talk about this domestic situation that's going on in this world today?
Yeah, it's a hard situation. Sadly, more women than we know are going through these bad relationships, and not just women.
You were brave to say that you actually went through it. I feel like a lot of people have.
At one point or another in our lives and our relationships, either physically, mentally, or verbally. I'm sure we've all experienced it with a bad boyfriend. Yeah.
Or maybe somebody who tries it.
Yeah, or even a family member, something to that effect. Yeah.
It's never an easy situation to deal with. Even if you're a friend or a family member and you see somebody is being abused or in a relationship where they're not able to fully be themselves, or they feel caged, or there's so many different ways to be abused, and when you see that coming from the outside in, or when you're experiencing that, it's hard, and we all have to be there to support those that we know.
If you see something, say something.
But how do you say something, and do you hope for the best in a relationship? Like, how some people, they tend to go to the negative to make people break up. Is this something that can be reconciled, or is it so dangerous that you have to leave?
It's up to you, but what I do say, the only thing I give is, when you say something, don't expect immediate results.
Okay, and be supportive. Right. If that's the case, let the person know you are welcome to come to my house. It's an escape. It's a haven, a safe haven. If you need, be here. I won't kiss and tell. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'll do whatever I can to steer you in the right direction as far as getting help or whatever, housing, whatever it may be. You know what I mean?
But one thing that we all should know, sometimes it's not always the man that is abusive. It's sometimes the woman that is abusive.
And we all hit, I don't know.
I have anger.
I've hit people before.
I hit first, I hit first too. I'm one of those.
Y'all are
honest.
It is what it is. It's the truth.
No!
Out of anger?
No!
Were you that good?
I have not hit any man out of anger. First thing, I grew up with brothers that whipped me down.
Well, I learned it when I was younger.
So I think I might have been like,
the only reason why I touched somebody if they told me that they loved me and I caught them cheating.
Then I lost it. I lost it in that situation.
What's that?
I was taught very early that do not hit a man unless you expect to get hit back.
There was a time that I didn't mind getting hit back. So my brother, I fought for him, and I knew the consequences of my actions. But I'm very honest about
when
that.
When I hit a person, I'm gonna hit you hard enough that you can't come and hit me back.
Say things.
So that's the way I used to hit.
Not with a man though.
Yes,
you gotta before really she knew hit. Jesus. Okay.
You gotta really hit. My grandmother had 25 kids.
Wow.
So therefore, I know how to hit.
25 kids.
I hear you. Whew.
My hips hurt after that comment.
I'm working on that's really interesting. Domestic violence is a very sensitive topic.
Yes, it is.
Do y'all know any numbers or any resources offhand? That's what I want to do. The things that we speak about, let's try to get resources for these people, for ourselves, because we may be dealing with these things and this may be an excuse or God guiding us to where we might be able to get a little help. We need to do things and the actions have to come or it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's easy to talk about issues, but it is a lot harder to help.
Right.
It is a lot harder to help.
That's what people do to
Especially
your whole
with,
life.
yeah, especially with something like domestic violence, because we could talk our ears off, we could talk our mouths off. You can talk to anybody till they're blue in the face. But nobody, even if you give them the resources, if they're not ready, they're not going to use it.
That's right.
It's up to them.
It's better to
come out of it.
But it's better than what we do with
there.
just talking. Here,
That's
girl,
right.
I know, even like how you said, you brought in your own story. I've been there. I know that it takes time. Here's this number.
Listen, I had a friend and another friend, and she was like, let's help our friend because she used to get beat up all the time.
Wow.
And we went to her to try to help her grow a result. Like you said, you could stay at our house or whatever. I wanted to beat him up. I'm just gonna tell you. But
that's not your job.
I know that.
As a friend.
It's really not.
But if it was my sister,
feel that way.
But if it was my sister,
it makes you the enemy.
It's still not your job.
They say four legs in the bed.
Wait a minute. Let me finish. So then she was like, when she came out her face and said to my friend, "You don't have a man." So therefore, you just trying to break my relationship.
So
up.
Sometimes I have to do that. You cannot relate, and she's absolutely right.
That's right. So
you can't tell me how to relate if you've never been.
You gotta stay out of that.
Yes, sometimes too.
They have to get tired. The person has to get tired on their own.
Exactly. They have to. It's up to them.
Exactly.
That's right.
As I said, it ain't even up to you to say, "Oh, I'm gonna beat him up."
They say drug addicts have to hit rock bottom.
That's only
These
pushes.
people have
I
to
noticed
get
that
tired.
only pushes them farther to that.
They say four legs in the bed. It's two people who are in bed together. You don't know what their pillow talk is. You don't know what their apology is. You don't know anything except for the anger that you feel based on the story that they.
It's a different story.
No, there's no different story. We're all
But
human beings.
you said that you was gonna beat up this man. That's not your job.
And then when they get back together, you're the enemy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Once they get back together, you're the enemy. And who's to say that you beating him up didn't send him home to beat her more?
But you want me to tell you something? I wouldn't even have to do that because my brothers is gonna leech me.
It's not even their job.
Nobody's
It's not their job. It's up to her.
The person has to
want
get
to
tired.
leave.
She has to
And
get
that's
tired.
that's part of the formula
That's
as
the
well.
biggest thing.
You're right. They have to get.
They have to
tired.
want to know to leave.
Okay,
It's absolutely.
But on that note, without further ado,
I just want y'all to calm down a
Oh,
little, something
shit,
to stop
see?
bashing all the guys. You know what I'm
I did not say
saying? Because
guys.
it's not only guys, it's you
I
women
said
also.
that it was.
But
No,
this
they
is-
ain't here talking about they slap men. You ain't hear?
But this is our closing. This is our closing.
I used to.
This is our closing.
Yeah,
Okay, we
my
can
kid.
continue this next week,
We might
Monday at 7 p.m. Every Monday at 7 p.m. What we do is we come at you from the mix. MYXXXX. One more X, is it?
let's talk, y'all. Let's talk.
Okay, so let's talk at Robin's house. This is our team. We are missing two, but next week we might
We
be
miss
on.
you
We
guys.
should be on board with our lovely Egypt
EJ, come
from
back.
House of LaBeija and
Miss Carol.
Miss Carol A. Gordon,
That's
who's
my
out
friend.
there
Running
paving
for
the way
Senate.
Oh, yeah.
to run for Senate to make a change
In the world.
our community and in the world. This is Ali from the Mix,
And I'm Robin, his co-host.
and we are the Mix family.
9.
See you next week. Good night, guys.